totally. It's a good one. You are correct. It's accurate. They always say it. How we doing, Honkers fans? Thanks for tuning into our just moments away from first pitch from Fall City. Once again, the visiting Seattle Studs taking on your Northwest Honkers at home. The pitching matchup in this one, Jeff Brown getting the start for the Studs with Blaze Hastings towing the rubber for the Northwest Honkers. We'll take you through the defense behind Hastings. Zach Zerbrug does the catching. Over at first base is Cameron Padron. The second baseman is Jordan Padilla. At shortstop is Casey Bailey. The third baseman is Evan Gillum. In left field, it's Ethan Lincecum. Right field, John Withrich. And in center field is Paul Brenarski. Ball's thrown down to second, and we are just about ready to go from Fall City. First pitch coming in 1 second here. It'll be Connor Savage to lead off the game for the Studs. Leading it off for the Studs, the center fielder number 5, Connor Savage. Savage digging into the left side of the plate, into the left-handed batter's box, and the first pitch from Hastings misses high for ball 1. We are underway from Fall City. The 1-0 misses inside, 2 balls and no strikes. Hastings falling behind Connor Savage to start off this ball game. 2 balls, no strikes. It'll be Connor Savage, Colin Wolf, and Landon Riker to bat in this top of the first inning for the Studs. 2-0 misses upstairs. A fastball up for ball 3. 3 balls, no strikes. Hastings taking a minute to settle in, as I'm sure he will. The right-hander has been pretty effective for the Honkers this season. A couple relief outings here, some starts there, and he misses up a 4-pitch walk to start the game. Savage makes his way down to first base. The Studs have a man aboard to start this one. The shortstop, number 28, Colin Wolf. This is the 3rd consecutive home game that the Honkers have had in the last 3 days. They were home against the Seattle Wallbangers, home against the Everett Merchants, as Wolf squares to bunt but pulls back and takes a curveball low. And now we are home against the Seattle Studs today on the 12th. Honkers will have an off day tomorrow, followed by a doubleheader home in Fall City on Saturday, and another doubleheader on Sunday. Squaring a bunt again, pulls back, takes one high. Ball 2.
Hey, you got it, Blaze.
2 balls, no strikes. 6 consecutive balls to start the game from Hastings. Taking a moment to hop back off the back of the mound and looks to resettle back in. This is Colin Wolf at the plate for the Studs. Hastings to the plate. That one's in there for a strike. As
There you go, Blaze.
Blaze Hastings paints one on the inside corner. I'm sure we'll be seeing more of that. Sometimes it just takes you a minute to lock in on the mound, as I'm sure Mr. Hastings will do. Here's the pitch. Runner goes with the pitch. This one's fouled, backing out of play. 2 balls, 1 strike. Landon Riker, the right fielder, waits on deck. He will be followed by Brendan Hancock, the first baseman, batting out of the 4 spot for the Studs. Excuse me, and it's 2 balls, 2 strikes after that foul ball. Count even at 2-2. Pitch on the way. This one is popped up foul down the first base line. A lot of foul balls here at Fall City Community Park. As always, because of this ballpark with not a lot of foul territory, well, a lot of balls end up leaving. As you can see, some of this, the dirt being kicked up as Colin Wolf digs into the box. A pretty dry infield with this all dirt infield, as you can see. Runner does not go. Starts to break late, actually, on that one, but it is fouled back once again. Colin Wolf putting together a pretty good at-bat against Hastings. Seen a lot of pitches. getting him to come to him, waiting for one he wants. Well, this is a very talented Seattle Studs team, as I'm sure you are aware if you are an avid Honkers fan. The Honkers have struggled, to say the least, against the Studs this season and in past seasons. Always a competitive team on the other side of the diamond with the Seattle Studs. The 2-2 from Hastings. Swing and a miss. He gets Colin Wolf to swing through that changeup. Very nice pitch made by Blaze Hastings. There's one away in the top of the first, still with a man on base.
The right fielder, number 10, Landon Riker.
That brings up Landon Riker, the right fielder. He will bat with one away and a man on first. First pitch coming from Hastings. Runner stays put. There's that good, sharp 12-6 breaking ball in there for strike one. That is a pitch we will see Hastings throw a lot today. One of the very few true 12-6 curveballs that I've seen. Truly goes straight from top to bottom. The bottom falls right out of it as Riker fouls that one back into the chain link fence. No balls and 2 strikes to the 3-hitter. It's always key against these Seattle Studs to hold them early as Hastings spins over to have a check on Connor Savage over there at first base. So no balls, 2 strikes. Another throw over to first. Certainly want to keep Connor Savage over there and out of scoring position, keeping him on first base. A double play would be huge for the Honkers here. Always nice to put up a scoreless first inning. That one fouled back and out of play. We will do it again at 2. As I was saying, if you let these Studs get out to an early lead, sometimes things get out of hand fast. So that is a big goal for the Honkers early in this one. Runs against, for sure. This one is a ground ball, and it's through past the diving shortstop Casey Bailey, just to the left of second base. Bailey laying out full extension, can't quite grab that one. It's through and into center field for a single. And there's men on first and second with the cleanup hitter Brendan Hancock coming up.
Hey, nice try, Casey. Here we go.
Now batting the first baseman, number 23, Brennan Hancock.
One away in the top of the first. Savage, the runner on second. Riker, the runner on first. And Hastings coming with the first pitch to Hancock. In there for a strike. Fastball in the outside corner. The Studs wearing a bit of a throwback uniform today. All cream color with no real logo on it except for a small circle on the left side of their jersey. That one in there for strike 2. Hastings is quickly ahead of Hancock, 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes, 1 out, 2 men on for the Studs. Hastings to the plate. There's that 12-6. Does not get Hancock to swing through it. That one low, just low. Breaking below the knees, caught just before the dirt by Zerbrook. Well, Hastings comes set, ready with this 1-2 to Hancock. Here it is. That one's low as well.
Hey, here we go, Blaze.
Pretty good eye at the plate. Hancock not chasing either of those last 2 pitches. Hastings peering in for a long moment. Has the one he wants. What is he coming with the 2-2? Runner is off for third base. That one's in the dirt. Good block by Zerbrook, but nothing he can do with it. Well, that moves the count to 3 balls and 2 strikes. A full count with runners on second and third. 2 men in scoring position for the Studs. The Honkers do have this open. We will see what Hastings wants to come with. 3-2. This will be a pretty big pitch here in the first inning. 1 out, 2 men in scoring position. 3-2 on the way. This one popped up, but it will be backing out. We will do it again at 3-2. The trying to have the studs strand those men on. Trying to leave him at second and third. Here is the 3-2 pitch from Hastings. One's low for ball 4, and the studs will have the bases loaded with 1 out in the top of the first. John Burgart coming up to the plate.
Now batting the designated hitter, number 16, John Burgart.
Another left-handed bat. Burgart is the designated hitter in this lineup today. He bats out of the 5 spot. Hastings' first pitch is going to be just inside. Didn't miss by much on that last pitch from Hastings, but just in. A ball and no strikes. If you're just joining us, we are in the top of the first. 1 out. The studs have the bases loaded. Still no score in this one. That one skips by the catcher, Zach Zerb. Actually, it does not skip by, just sails right by him. Blaze Hastings missing up in the zone that time. A fastball way up. Well, it's 2 balls and no strikes. There is nowhere to put John Burgart, so Hastings will have to come right around the zone with these next few pitches.
Here you go, Blaze.
Currently 2 balls, no strikes with the bases juiced in the top of the first. Pitch on the way. That one's in there for strike 1, 2-1. Big pitch that time from Hastings. Huge difference between a 2-1 count and a 3-0 count. So it's 2 balls and 1 strike. Honkers keeping their fingers crossed for a double play ball. On the way. That one is lined right at the second baseman, Jordan Padilla. Lined right at him. Play, lined right at him. Padilla drops it. Almost looked like he was thinking about dropping it on purpose, but he drops the ball onto the ground, gets the runner at second, and they're going to call time and figure this one out. They're saying he beat it down the line at first base, so I'm guessing the umpires are going to meet and converge about this one. I'm guessing they're going to call the runner out at second and safe at first, so a run would score if that's the case. But we'll see what they're saying. There will probably... They're going to figure this one out. The ball was Jordan Padilla. Dropped it to the ground. Flipped the ball to second and then on to first. They got the out at second, most likely. That's what we think right now. And then they threw on to first, but they called him safe at first. So we're going to see... We're going to see what they're saying. The home plate umpire is the man in blue back there. The other umpire is wearing black. So let's see what they're saying.
How can he go back to second?
That's a rule I don't know.
How can he go back to second? It was forced.
He retreated. Hey, it's better than him on third.
I guess, but it could also get him out. I don't get how he can be on second. Bases were loaded.
So we are still figuring this one out, but looks like we're going to have runners on. Looks like we're going to have runners on first and second. Looks like we're going to have runners on first and second.
What the? I'm about to look up the rule book. What?
Right. So we got runners on first and second. We got 2 outs now. Remember, earlier in the inning, Colin Wolf struck out on a filthy changeup from Blaze Hastings. So runners on first and second with 2 outs. I believe just 1 run scored on that very strange play. We will get you the details on that one, probably after the half inning. But it is 1-0 Studs after that strange, it was a line drive right to Jordan Padilla, ended up dropping it. The umpires converged, weren't very vocal about what their decision was on the call. So we're gonna double check on everything that went on there. And you know, it'd be nice if they gave a holler as to what they decided. I didn't see any kind of out call, any safe call. Generally, that's what they'll do. They'll point to the bag and then make the call. But we're going to figure that one out for you folks at home.
Nice plays up there.
After the half inning, Blaze Hastings throwing a fastball for a strike right there. 2 balls and 1 strike. 2 outs in the top of the first inning. Runners on second and third. They did advance. So there's 2 men in scoring position for the Studs. A little bit of a strange goings on from Fall City in the top of the first. Unusual half inning to start off the day. Hastings comes set to the plate. That one's in there. Strike 2. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Hastings trying to get him here. That one in the dirt, a curveball low, does not get him to chase. That's Tanner Arrington making his way down to first base with the walk. That'll bring up the second baseman, Cody Banks, batting out of the 7th spot.
The second baseman, number 14, Cody Banks.
So Banks will bat with 2 outs and the bases loaded once again for the Seattle Studs. Curveball in the dirt for ball 1. Ball, no strikes to Banks. Here's the 1-0. That one's in there. Strike 1. Even at 1-1.
Hey, here we go. Let's go. Minimize right here, Blaze.
1 ball, 1 strike. Pitch on the way. That one's also in there. Strike 2. Nice pitch. There's that changeup. 1-2. Hastings trying to get out of this first inning jam with just 1 run scoring. Also on a ground ball to the shortstop, Casey Bailey fields it and tags out the runner on his way to third.
Hey, way to minimize,
Tags out
Blaze.
the runner on second base. We go to the bottom of the first. We'll get you the details of that strange play in just a moment. So we're going to the bottom of the first. Honkers coming up.
That was the one I missed.
Yeah. You guys out at second or first? I can't remember. I think that's second.
Yeah,
You
but that's
picked it up and tossed it second. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so it was,
So on the mound for the Seattle Studs, we have left-hander Jeff Brown. Man, I don't know if I've ever seen a guy that looks more like David Price in my life. Even got the high socks, the big black beard, even that left-handed windup. This is almost like we're playing look-alike day here at the ballpark. But it is not, in fact, David Price. That is Jeff Brown on the mound for the Seattle Studs. Well, if you'll remember back to the top of the first inning on that strange play that we weren't quite sure what was going on, they did not, as I thought they were possibly calling the batter out on the line drive to Padilla, because sometimes you'll see middle infielders drop an easy ball to try to turn two. No, that was not the case. They did get the force out at second, and then the runner on second base just dove back safely into the second base bag once the force was eliminated. Not as strange a play as we might have thought. It was just a little bit confusing as the umpires were not really vocal about what was going on. So, in fact, not a wild play at all, but just a force out at second and the run back. So we got that taken care of. Nothing too strange. Paul Bernarski leading things off for the Honkers. The center fielder, number 17, Paul Brenarski. So it will be Bernarski, Padilla, and Bailey to bat in the first inning. Bernarski swinging first pitch, a ground ball to the shortstop, fielded by Colin Wolf. The throw on to first is in time to retire Paul Bernarski. He's the first out of this bottom of the first inning. Jordan Padilla will bat.
And now batting the second baseman, number 8, Jordan Padilla.
So we are in the bottom of the first inning. 1 out, and it's a 1-0 ball game. The Studs on top. Padilla's swinging first pitch as well. Fouls it back. Back-to-back first pitch hacks for the Honkers. This is Jeff Brown, the southpaw out there on the mound kicking into the winds. This one is lofted into left field. The left fielder taking some steps back, turning over his shoulder. Can't make the catch, goes right off his glove. That's Jacob Hirsch out in left field.
Nice job, Jordan!
Just backpedaling and goes right off his glove. Looked like he was going to have an easy catch on that one. Does not make the play. Padilla is aboard second base.
The shortstop, number 12, Casey Bailey.
A lefty-on-lefty matchup between Casey Bailey and Jeff Brown, with a runner on second after the E7. Bailey takes strike one, a fastball on the outside part of the plate. Well, this would be very clutch for the Honkers to match that one run that the Studs put up early in this one. This one, a ground ball back up the middle. Bailey for second. They're going to send Padilla around from third. There will be a throw to the plate. It's going to be close. Padilla down. He is safe in there at the plate. And the Honkers tie this one up 1-1 in the first inning. Casey Bailey with an RBI single. Four-hitter Wesley Faison will bat.
The designated hitter, number 34, Wesley Faison.
Well, that is big for the Honkers. Going down 1-0 in the top of the first. They have already answered that in the bottom of the first, tying this ball game up 1-1. Pitch to Faison. This one popped up. The shortstop's calling it. Back out onto the outfield grass, right on the edge, making the catch. It's Colin Wolf camping under that one for the second out of this inning.
Now batting the right fielder, number 32, John Withrich.
Withrich has a chance with 2 outs and a man on first. Bottom of the first inning. Brown takes to the plate. This one up and in for ball 1. A fastball in under the hands of Withrich. Jeff Brown taking a look at Casey Bailey on first. Comes to the plate again. This one is lined hard into left center field. That one is down, in for a base hit. Bailey is going to round second and dig for third. He will get there safely.
Nice job, John!
Runners on first and third. Men at the corners.
Every day I spend my time thinking what, feeling
Excellent piece of hitting right there.
here to find the sign.
Brown leaves a fastball right on the inside part of the plate. Withrich whacks it to left. Runners on first and third.
Every day I spend my time.
The first baseman, number 19, Cameron Padron.
Another lefty on lefty matchup between Brown and Padron. Padron takes a fastball for strike 1. So Casey Bailey, who had an RBI single, is the runner on third. Swing and a miss by
Hey, you
Padron.
got it, Cameron. Here we go.
Off speed, breaking outside. Down and away to the lefty. No balls, 2 strikes as Jeff Brown looks to put away Cameron Padron. The final out of this first inning. Swing and a miss, same pitch. The breaker starting on the outside part of the plate, ending up off the plate. Gets Padron to swing through it twice. He goes down, and that's the end of the first inning. We go to the top of the second. Both teams have scored 1. A 1-1 ball game between the Studs and the Honks as we go to the top of the second.
Strawberry shimmer on hot lips, silver buckle hanging off her hips. I sparkle when she smiles, shine down the radio dial. Homemade jar, lemon drop, take a sip. Don't stop, girl, you know I love it when you get to shine on. You and me rocking all night long. Summer sky dripping rhinestones, turn your party lights on, baby, get your shine on, shine on. Baby, get your shine on. Silverado candy painted, Ray-Bans got the whole world shaded. Chrome piece tucked in the console. Right now, roll up on the back low. Feeling lucky, got hooked up with some Kentucky clear. So slide that little sugar shaker over here and get your shine on. You and me rocking all night long. Summer sky dripping rhinestones, turn your party lights on, baby, get your shine on.
Now batting the catcher, number 2, Garrett Breda.
So Garrett Breda into the batter's box. First pitch from Hastings, strike 1. A fastball right over the heart of the plate. A ball and a strike to the Studs catcher. 8, 9, and top to bat in the second. That one's in, and it hits him right in the front shoulder. Not a great way to start the second.
Scramble.
The Honkers have been hitting a lot of guys as of late. It happens. So that will bring up Jacob Hirsch.
Now batting the left fielder, number 4, Jacob Hirsch.
We'll see if the Studs are thinking about a bunt here. They are a team that's definitely not too proud to bunt. In there for a strike. Well, a team as talented and plays as well as the Studs do, they do play a decent amount of small ball. We've seen them do it all this season. That one fouled down the third base line. No balls and 2 strikes. Well, Jacob Hirsch not thinking about a bunt out of the 9 spot. He is behind, no balls, 2 strikes.
2 strikes. Play.
Blaze Hastings trying to put him away before he gets back to the top of the order. Here's the 0-2 in there for strike 3.
Please!
Jacob Hirsch goes down looking. There's 1 away. In the top of the second, top of the order, Connor Savage coming up.
The center fielder, number 5, Connor Savage.
Hastings comes set, ready for his first pitch to Savage. That one's low in the dirt outside as well. Ball 1. Savage worked a 4-pitch leadoff walk in his last at bat. Spin over, having a check on the runner on first. That's Garrett Breda, the runner off of first. He reached on the hit by pitch. That one's upstairs. Colin Wolf waits on deck. Hastings comes set with the plate. Swing and a miss. Big swing and a miss. I believe the count is even up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Excuse me, 2 balls and 1 strike. Got a bit of ahead of myself right there. So 2 and 1. Breda, the runner on first. Bluffs if it's going. That one's fouled back. Now it's 2 and 2. Hastings off the catcher. Zerbrug has the one he wants as he sets. 2-2 is inside. Breaking ball.
Make a win in your Blaze.
Breaking into the left-hand batter. Got a full count. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Connor Savage batter. Payoff pitch. Runner goes. Ground ball up the middle. The out at second on to first.
Yeah!
Very nice play. Well, that one looked as if we weren't going to have a chance for 2 as the runner was off for second with the pitch, but the very tall shortstop, Casey Bailey, using those long legs to keep 1 foot on the bag while he holds the ball. They get the force at second on the first, so 6-3. Double play. The shortstop, Casey Bailey, doing it himself to get 2. Ends the top of the second, go to the bottom of the second. The Honkers put up a scoreless top of the inning, and they look to score a bunch in the bottom of the second. We will be back from Fall City.
Cross
Leading it off for the Honkers, the catcher number 21, Zach Zerbrug.
7-8-9 to bat for the Honkers in the bottom of the second. Zach Zerbrug, Evan Gullum, and Linscomb. The first pitch from Jeff Brown into his second inning of work, swung through a fastball at the letters. I can't imagine you can get a great view of the facial feature of Jeff Brown, but boy, if you could see him, you would think that David Price was out here pitching in Seattle. A big black beard, a left-handed delivery, even a similar windup with the high socks. Very funny to see. I'm sure a little bit of him tries to do that. Tries to embody Mr. Price. Jeff Brown missing outside with a changeup that time. Zerbrug catcher batting out of the 7 spot. Takes for a strike.
No. 28, sorry. The shortstop number 28, Colin Wolf.
Hello, folks. We are back to you from Fall City. We do apologize for the break in our broadcast. We lost our live stream for a few moments there, and we do apologize that we're not going to have a picture for you for the foreseeable future, at least for the next few innings. Our device is overheating as we are at a 90-degree temperature today from Fall City. So we are going to get you some audio play-by-play. Hopefully that will be good enough for you folks at home for the time being, and once it starts to cool off with the sun going down behind the ridge, we will try to get you the video back. So we currently have Colin Wolf at the plate. We're in the top of the third. It's a 3-1 count to Colin Wolf. All you missed was the bottom of the second. You missed the Honkers at bat. Wolf takes ball 4. A fastball just at the right below the bottom of the zone. The Studs have a man aboard to lead off the top of the third. A leadoff walk issued by Blaze Hastings to bring up Landon Riker.
Now batting the right fielder number 10, Landon Riker.
So Wolf aboard first base after drawing the walk. Blaze Hastings still on the mound. Fouled back. Riker swings in that one and fouled back into the chain link. And we do appreciate you bearing with us as we battle the heat. And we do not want our stuff to overheat to the point where it's unusable on a regular basis. That one's upstairs, ball 1. So 1 ball and 1 strike to Landon Riker. A man aboard first base for the Seattle Studs in the top of the third inning. Score is still 1-1. The Honkers could not get a run across in the bottom of the second. Zach Zerbrug led it off with a leadoff single. And Riker lines this one down the third base line, but it is foul, landing just to the left of the left field foul line. That one probably would have been a double, lined right down the left field line, but just a long strike. We got 1 ball and 2 strikes.
1-2, play.
A ball and 2 strikes to Landon Riker. Still just the runner on first base, no one out in the top of the third. Runner goes with the pitch. It's a 12-6 curveball popped up to right field. John Withrich coming in, making the catch. The runner returns to first base safely. 1 out. In the top of the third, Brendan Hancock coming to the plate.
The first baseman number 23, Brennan Hancock.
Again, the Seattle Studs wearing a bit of a throwback, all white cream-colored uniform, so slightly off-white. Here's the first pitch to Hancock, a fastball for strike one. Colin Wolf is the man aboard first base. Hastings comes set through the plate. There's that 12-6 curveball, but it's upstairs. For ball one, 1 ball and 1 strike to the Studs first baseman. Hastings peers in for the sign, has the one he wants, comes into his set position. The 1-1 on the way to the plate. There's a 12-6 curveball. It was very close pitch. The umpire indicating that that's a ball. I believe that was because Zerbrug hopped up as if he was going to throw down to first. Probably confused the umpire just a little bit. That one looked like it was in the zone. 2 balls, 1 strike, as they say that one missed. So just the runner on first. 1 out, the pitch on the way. This one is fouled down the third base line. Way back into the tall grass surrounding the field behind the bleacher area. So it's 2 balls and 2 strikes from Hastings. 2-2 pitch on the way in a moment. Here it is. This one lined into right center field. It will be down. That's going to be extra bases. Wolf is rounding second. He will be stopped. No, they will send him around from third. He will score with ease, as that RBI double made it all the way to the fence in right center field. Brennan Hancock getting all of that one and smacking it into the gap for a double. A run comes in, and it's 2-1. The Studs on top of the Honkers. John Burgart.
The designated hitter, number 16, John Burgart.
First pitch to Burgart. It's upstairs, a fastball. Hastings going all stretch today, no full windup. So Brennan Hancock is the lone man aboard for the Studs. He has his lead off of second base. In there
Nice,
for a
please.
strike. Hastings peering in, getting signed from Zach Zerbrug. Hancock with his lead off a second. The shortstop, Casey Bailey, flashing the bag. Back to his position. Hancock's off for third. The throw down from Zach Zerbrug is going to be not in time, and it gets briefly away from the third baseman, Evan Gill. It is picked up. Brennan Hancock with some speed out of the cleanup spot. He snags third base. We got 1 out, still in the top of the third, 2 balls and 1 strike. Bird at the plate. Here's Hastings 2-1. Fouled back, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Count even up. They get Hastings a new ball out on the mound as that one smacks into the fence. Two and two with 1 away in the third. We'll see what Hastings wants to come with here, looking to retire John Burgart, trying to make him second out of this inning. This curveball skipped in the dirt, it's back to the fence, no advance. Brennan Hancock, confident with his speed, but not willing to risk it all at the plate right there with the short backstop. He retreats to the third base. There's a full count, 3 balls, 2 strikes to Burgart. Probably going to try to paint a fastball outside. Skipped in the dirt, ball 4. And the Studs will have men at corners with 1 out in the top of the third.
The third baseman, number 30, Tanner Arrington.
First pitch to Tanner Arrington in there for strike one. An off-speed pitch. Just drops it right in there. Runner on first and a runner on third for the Studs. They pop up to deep center field. Should be deep enough to score the from third. Paul Bernarski